The Breaking Bad universe has spawned many series, webisodes, and short films.
We're gonna eat a lot of snacks together.
But when it comes to storytelling, balancing comedy and drama, and artistic integrity, one series is clearly above all the rest in the pantheon of the Gilliverse.
Slippin Jimmy.
And the execution is top-notch. There's only one mistake in this series, which we'll cover in this video. Compare that to Breaking Bad, which looks like amateur hour in comparison. No crew members or filming equipment are visible in Slippin Jimmy. Expanding the Breaking Bad universe into animation was a bold move.
The fear you have is, what if I screw it up? What if I do something that's so bad? What if we, working together, come up with something that sullies the memory of the mothership?
But fortunately, that is definitely not what happened. It is the opposite of what happened. Not many people have seen these episodes, despite it being on everyone's favorite streaming service. Imagine what this app would be rated if it didn't have Slippin Jimmy. To make this video, I signed up for AMC Plus so I could show you the highlights of all 6 episodes and all 15 Breaking Bad universe references. Just like Better Call Saul, the title sequence varies per episode, with a signature camera pan down happening in all but the last one. The slow, dramatic opening brings the appropriate level of gravitas to each episode. Bravo, Vince! Episode 1. This uses a super wide format like El Camino, so you know it's going to be good. This is a parody of A Fistful of Dollars, Once Upon a Time in the West, Yojimbo, and Brokeback Mountain.
I can't quit you.
You know, topical stuff. The plot of this episode is that Jimmy's in a snowball fight.
How could you possibly survive that?
You shoot to kill, you better hit the heart.
Squirrels are a recurring theme, appearing in every episode except for the one that literally takes place in a park. That's gotta mean something, right? Now we see the origin of Jimmy's advertising sensibilities. And this clever pun is also a reference to
It's a victimless crime.
And then one, uno.
That's the title of Better Call Saul's first episode. And while Marco's in an igloo jail, he gives this nod to Better Call Saul Season 2. We learn that Jimmy has magical powers, so this does open up some plot holes in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. As is often the problem with prequels, we already know Marco isn't gonna die from this. In spite of that, they masterfully build the tension. The big mystery is Unibrow Guy's fate. If he survives, why don't we see him in Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul? Or does he become Spooge? So many mysteries to ponder. Episode 2. Hey, Breaking Bad reference. Every episode is a bit of a movie parody. This one is more subtle though.
The Exorcist? Yep, that's the one.
Jimmy puts a "Poke Me" sign on Father Karras's back, which lands Jimmy and Marco in detention. Father Karras is named after a character from The Exorcist and voiced by Chi McBride.
All God's children are welcome here.
Surprisingly, Sister Beth is voiced by Lorraine Newman, original Saturday Night Live cast member. Hey, it's Spooge.
Trent Titweiler.
Trent. Maybe that's Spooge's real name. Wait, there actually is a Trent in Breaking Bad.
My name's Trent, I'll be taking care of you today.
Sister Beth turns out to be possessed and does an impression of either Season 2 Walt Jr. or Jane. You decide which.
Oh, hell, the Wolf of Wall Street. Crypto is the future of money.
Both of these happened after the 70s, so I guess Trent is now seeing the future? For those of you who find this unrealistic, might I remind you that Jane could also see the future. Jimmy draws a pentacle to defeat the demon.
Your mother plucks socks to sell!
This is a parody of a line from The Exorcist. Your mother f***s in hell. Again, we know Marco's gonna survive this, but the fun is in the rich, layered storytelling.
Stagflation?
The episode ends with a demon snake escaping and possessing Father Karras instead. Episode 3. In this parody of After Hours, Jimmy and Marco sneak out to go to the comic book store.
Issue 100 of Lady Labyrinth goes on sale at midnight sharp.
Look at that cinematography. This iconic shot is actually a nod to a lesser-known shot in Better Call Saul. The driver is a pirate and drives a route that looks like a pirate ship instead of taking them to their destination. No problem, Jimmy does his first slippin' and convinces the pirate he's
Odysseus, son of Poseidon, let us out be washed away by my father's power!
What are you doing here?
This is Bullies Anonymous.
That's a reference to Narcotics Anonymous. Jimmy throws baby powder to escape the bullies, reminiscent of... They make it to the store.
This is the best night of my life.
This was the greatest week of my life.
And now for the highest rated episode. Ooh, it looks like we're gonna get a flash forward to Animated Gene. Nope, it's a silent movie, a spoof of the Charlie Chaplin classic City Lights. Yay, it's Chuck! And look, it's a Better Call Saul law book. Chuck's radio doesn't work well, so after spilling his cereal on him, Jimmy tries to make it up to him by getting him something better. Notice the pawn shop's bowling ball. He trades in one of his prized comic books to get a gramophone. Then Jimmy accidentally steals a baby carriage while bringing it home and has to chase it throughout the subway. Here's the one error in an otherwise flawless series. The Chicago Transit Authority didn't color code their train lines until the 90s. A policeman chases him because he didn't pay for a ticket. Jimmy surprises Chuck with the gramophone and a hug. Episode 5. I think this is a reference to Speed since it takes place entirely on a bus. Jimmy wants to ask Dawn Marie, the class president, to the dance, but...
You might want to do it soon. I heard Trent's gonna ask her before class today.
How do I get to Dawn Marie with Mrs. Buttbraider watching our every move?
If the bus driver catches anyone out of their seat, she'll kick them off the bus.
Go!
Oh, Fernando, you bad boy. Run that yellow. Run it so fast.
This weird moment could reference Fernando the Vomino's pest employee, or the Breaking Bad minisode.
Jimmy's moving in the aisle.
Oh, nuts.
Hey, Dawn Marie.
Are you telling me that a man just happens to fall like that? He orchestrated it. Jimmy!
Hey, Dawn Marie. Would you like to go to the dance with me?
Rocky, the dance. I can take Albert to the dance, force everyone into the same room. It's like Churchill at Yalta. Oh, Jimmy, you did it.
But no, I can't go to the dance with you. There are larger geopolitical forces at work.
And now, the season finale.
It was summer when I first met Slippin Jimmy.
We find out right away this is a flashback episode showing how Jimmy and Marco meet, much like the Season 1 Better Call Saul finale named Marco.
Back then, I was nothing but a 3-time loser.
That's a reference to...
You are a 2-time loser.
Which is itself a reference from...
Sweet smell of success.
Which also has the line...
Cats in a bag and the bag's in a river.
Despite all that, this episode is a parody of both Cool Hand Luke, where... came from, and the Shawshank Redemption. Hey, he's slipping again.
You guys have liability insurance, right?
You know they made us chop down extra trees since you were hurt?
Somebody tried to break into my cooler. McGill. They caught you red-handed at your last school trying to steal whiteout.
It's worth a mint on the white market.
Fun fact, all these episodes have a laugh track, but you never hear it because no jokes are ever detected.
Push the boulder up to the top, then carry it down 10 times.
Isn't that a little Kafka-esque?
Sounds kind of Kafka-esque.
You didn't need to take the rap for me.
And that's how Jimmy and Marco became friends.
Did you actually get the ice cream?
Nah.
You still want that ice cream? If a crime falls in the woods and it doesn't make a sound, did it even happen?
Jimmy later refined his delivery of that joke.
The tree falls in the forest. You know, you get the point.
The heist worked. Nostrovia.
Nice Hank reference.
Nostrovia. Nostrovia.
It was friendship. It was freedom. And it was only the beginning.
A brilliant ending. Does that mean there's going to be a season 2? Or is it just a way to transition to the events of Better Call Saul, like what Better Call Saul did with Crazy 8?
We put Molina back out on the street. Who knows what else he's gonna scare up?
I love someone's joke on IMDb that there are going to be 2 more episodes, Slip Canery and Jimmy Gone. Speaking of jokes...
April Fool! What a sick joke!
Hey guys, you shouldn't spread misinformation on the internet.
Yes, this whole video is an April Fool's joke. Slippin Jimmy was an abomination of a cartoon and obviously an embarrassing money grab by AMC. Clearly, executive producers did nothing more than reluctantly go along with it.
Slippin Jimmy I can handle just fine.
I can't. Thanks to Block Vader for giving me this idea. Making this was days of my life I'll never get back, but I feel like I'm doing a service to the world by condensing the 48 minutes of Slippin Jimmy content into about 6 minutes. Also, this is one of the only videos I'm actually able to monetize due to the clip-heavy nature of my channel, and nobody seems to care about Slippin Jimmy clips, so you can help me out by liking, commenting on, and sharing this video. Shout out to my channel members, you're the best, no joke. Let's also make you executive producers of Slippin Jimmy. Why not? By watching this video, you've probably had more involvement than the real ones. Say hi to new executive producer and channel member, Saner. If you're new to this channel, now's a great time to subscribe as we break down each episode of Breaking Bad in order, pointing out hidden details, trivia, and mistakes. Next week is IFT.